Now in 4 News Now at 6, a Spokane track coach collapses at practice and 2 students save his life. We talked with the heroes and we'll tell you how that coach is doing tonight.
We are on the eve of March Madness for the WSU Cougars and Gonzaga Bulldogs. Live reports from Salt Lake and Omaha as the teams make final preps for tomorrow's first round games.
And it's going to be a great start to the tournament here in Spokane. I'll help you plan around the rain on the way, plus your chances of snow in the first alert forecast. You're watching 4 News Now at 6.
My dad wouldn't be alive if they didn't step up. They were really the key point in it.
A high school track coach is recovering at Sacred Heart Medical Center after receiving a life-saving CPR from 2 students. During Lewis and Clark track practice, the coach collapsed to the ground. Thanks so much for joining us. I'm Derek Dice.
And I'm Kirsten O'Connor. The students' quick thinking, working together to perform CPR helped him return to his family. In a 4 News Now exclusive, Peter Choi met the students who used teamwork to save the coach.
I thought he was gone. I thought he had died.
It's a situation these students trained for, but never knew when they might need to use it. CPR.
But as we got closer, we sensed that there might be some sort of emergency.
Junior Brody and Grant saw their coach Mike Hadway collapse on the ground, unresponsive. Brody and Grant knew exactly what they had to do. They called 911 and started performing CPR right here.
Pulse, it wasn't there, and we started compressions as soon as we could. And we had someone else call 911. We had another person grab our clothes in another area, and we had someone else organize all the sophomores and the freshmen, and we just all really worked as a team.
Students did what they could to save Coach Hadway until he was taken to the hospital.
Really just expected the worst on my way to the hospital.
Thanks to their quick actions, Coach Hadway was able to get his pulse back.
Our family's super grateful that God put those 2 kids there and they knew exactly what to do, and they stepped up and they didn't hesitate. And yeah, my dad wouldn't be alive if they didn't step up.
Family says Coach Hadway is now talking and recovering from the hospital. He now wants others to know how to perform CPR because it could happen to anyone.
It could save someone's life, so I would say it's absolutely worth it.
In Spokane, Peter Choi, 4 News Now.
Thank God for those 2 boys. Well, around the Northwest now, officers in Boise are searching for 2 people involved in a shooting that injured 3 Idaho corrections officers. Investigators say it took place in an ambulance bay at St. Alphonsus Medical Center. That's where an unknown person opened fire while officers were in the process of transferring this man, Skylar Mead, back to prison. Mead was serving a 20-year sentence for shooting at a sheriff's sergeant during a high-speed chase back in 2017. 2 of the correctional officers were hurt in the initial shooting, while the 3rd was shot by police who mistook him for the suspect.
Well, I have to say this hurts a little to say out loud, but our streak of beautiful weather is coming to an end.
But all that rain on the way will give us the perfect excuse to stay indoors and just watch some basketball. We're going to send it over to Chief Meteorologist Chris Crocker now to see just how long we can keep using that excuse.
Well, it is going to stick around, that rain, through the 7-day forecast. A little slow to get started, but the clouds have arrived. Here's the live view over the Spokane Veterans Memorial Arena, the Spokane County Courthouse. Overcast conditions right now, but nothing coming out of those clouds, and it may take a while before we see some measurable rain. Thursday, we're looking for just a few sprinkles. Here are 4 things to know about your weather. A better chance of light rain on Friday, and then we get into some wet weather for Saturday and Sunday. Cooler as well, and so we may see some snow mixing in down in the valleys, perhaps even some minor accumulations in spots, particularly the northern valleys, so that possibility of valley snow. Here's a look at our satellite and radar right now, and the clouds have been filtering our sunshine throughout the afternoon, and now we are into the overcast. We'll see those clouds continuing to stream through, but very little precipitation on the way for tomorrow. Temperatures, however, are going to drop. Our highs today were in the 60s in most locations, this down from the 70s yesterday in many locations, and will be even cooler tomorrow with a high temperature of 56. Now that is still above average. 50 is our average high, with mostly cloudy skies and a few sprinkles off and on throughout the day. I'll be back to help you time your plans for Friday and into the weekend and tell you about the wet weather that is coming. That's in just a few minutes, Derek.
All right, Chris, thank you. The road to the championship for some of our local college basketball teams begins tomorrow with the Zags up first in Salt Lake City, where they're taking on the McNeese State Cowboys.
That'll be followed by the Cougs taking on the Drake Bulldogs in Omaha. Our sports team is spread out across the country right now with each team and what they're doing to move on to the second round. We begin with Julian Minnesota live. So, Julian, you have a look at some of the other connections the coaches have to Spokane.
Derek, Kirsten, that's right. You know that movie The Hangover where they say it's the three best friends that anyone can have? Yeah, that's what it's like for a trio of Gonzaga coaches here in Salt Lake City. Gonzaga head coach Mark Few, former Gonzaga coach Dan Munson, and former Gonzaga assistant Tommy Lloyd are all here trying to get their teams to the next round. But they're also spending some time reflecting, talking about the good old days in Spokane.
Julian Minnesota, KXLY in Spokane. Dan, what do you make of the...
Go Zags.
It's a Gonzaga reunion in Salt Lake City.
The Zag father, the dog father, I gotta have a name for that, right?
Former Gonzaga head coach Dan Munson in Long Beach State is going head-to-head against former Gonzaga assistant Tommy Lloyd in Arizona.
Tommy owes me.
Munson coached at Gonzaga for 11 years. The Spokane native led the Bulldogs to the NCAA tournament back in 1999, which started Gonzaga's streak of 25 straight tournament appearances. When Munson left for Minnesota, he recommended Mark Few for the job.
He's the sole reason why I got into this profession. He got me into it and gave me the opportunity, so my career never would have even happened if it wasn't for Dan Munson.
Munson also made a promise to another aspiring young coach.
About 2 weeks after I get back to Minnesota, and we're both reeling with these new jobs, and we're talking, and about halfway through the conversation, Mark says, this grad guy you got here, what's his name again, and what did you promise him?
His name was Tommy Lloyd. Few honored that promise by giving Lloyd a job. Lloyd went on to be Few's assistant at Gonzaga for more than 2 decades.
I didn't feel like just an assistant coach there. I felt like, I was in ownership with him of the program.
Few, Munson, and Lloyd reuniting in Salt Lake City, talking the game of basketball and the game of life.
Those are the things, as you said, you just cherish in these deals that's above and beyond the game is the relationships, and that's something that I've reflected on.
Now, the crazy thing about this is before the Big West tournament, Munson was told by Long Beach State that they would not be retaining him after this season. And then his team went on an unlikely run to win the conference championship and get here to the NCAA tournament. So he's working for free. Those are his words right now. And he's got his best buds, Mark Few and Tommy Lloyd, along his side, all Gonzaga, all together. Reporting live in Salt Lake City, Julian Minnesota, 4 News Now Sports.
It's a pretty cool ending here for Coach Munson, for sure. Julian, thank you. Now, let's turn it over to this guy, Alex Crescenti, who's in Omaha tonight with what the Cougs need to do to win their first tournament game in 16 years against a dangerous team in the Drake Bulldogs.
Yeah, Derek, ever since the bracket was revealed on Sunday afternoon, amateurs and experts alike have been given their hot takes about who they think is going to get upset. They think they know better and can predict the future of this tournament. And for some reason, a lot of people have this 7-10 Washington State Drake matchup circled for them. They think the Cougs are going to get upset, and maybe for good reason. Drake is the champions of the Missouri Valley Conference, and they enter this tournament with a very efficient offense. They're putting up more than 80 points a game in the regular season, and they are led by the coach's son, Tucker DeFries. He was named the AP All-American Honorable Mention after averaging more than 21 points a game, and Washington State head coach knows, Kyle Smith knows this is where it stops and ends, in getting him stopping Drake.
We'd call him Baby Bird, little Larry, Tucker DeVries, and kind of plays, even though doesn't bring the ball up the floor all the time, but it's almost like they're put together, a little like the Dallas Mavericks with Luka. I mean, he averages 3.6 assists. He's a really good scorer, and then they have really good guys that fit with him as far as guys that can bang threes and guard their position, and they share the ball. So they're a pretty complete team.
Very talented team. Offensive juggernauts. They're pretty good. They have great players. They play as a team, and they get good shots. So we just got to limit their shots, limit threes, no second chance points, and outcompete them.
Now, the counter to a great offense is a great defense, and Washington State is only giving up 66 points a game. That ranks 45th in the nation. Now, the Cougs and the Bulldogs will be the last tip-off of day one of the tournament tomorrow, just after 7 p.m. back home. So get ready for a late night, but we've almost made it. The madness has almost begun. Can't wait for it to get underway. And make sure to follow along all day tomorrow on 4 News Now, KXLY Plus, and social media. We'll give you the behind-the-scenes tour of the Cougs' first tournament in 16 years. Reporting live tonight from Omaha, Nebraska, I'm Alex Crescenti, 4 News Now Sports.
Alex, thank you. As for our 2 other local teams in the tournament, the Eastern Eagles women's team will be making their first appearance in the tournament since the 80s. That's Friday in Corvallis against Oregon State. And the Gonzaga women's team will be playing here at home in Spokane against UC Irvine on Saturday. Just a few blocks away from the kennel, thousands of fans will be filling the Spokane Veterans Memorial Arena for the first 2 rounds of the tournament.
Coming up, what the city is doing to make sure there's enough security to keep everyone safe.
The Spokane Fire Department is making sure that the Sky Ride is safe for everyone. Coming up, I'll give you a first-hand look at what you should do if you get stuck.
Connect with 4 News Now on KXLY Plus.
Save your greed! This March, we're celebrating our 29th anniversary at the Kootenai Casino. We're having a blowout anniversary celebration, and you are invited. With March deals on rooms, dining, and the spa, along with huge cash and bonus play prizes all month long. Stay at the Kootenai Falls Lodge midweek, starting at just $69, or upgrade to a Riverview room for $89. Come on in for the win. Book your getaway today. Call 888-YOU-ARE-LUCKY or visit KootenaiRiverInn.com. Welcome to Move Fitness.
Let's go.
Let's go. Let's go. Sign up now with no enrollment fee. Let's go. How does free college or training sound? It's possible. Washington College Grant gives eligible people money for certificate programs, job training, apprenticeships, or college. Learn more at WAGgrant.org. That's WAGrant.org.
This is Ford Truck Month with amazing offers across an amazing lineup of Ford trucks. Make way for the event that only comes around once a year, featuring the new 2024 Ford F-150 and Super Duty, the North American Truck of the Year. Get ready and get to Ford Truck Month. Lock in a 6-year rate. Get 1.9% APR for 72 months on a 2023 F-150 only at your local Ford dealer.
UFCW 3000 is building a union that fights to make sure that essential workers get better wages, respect on the job, and a safe workplace.
Our union believes it's time for the employers to do the right thing and provide the kind of wages, benefits, and schedules that improve both employee services and company commitment.
It's a win-win. The company has skilled workers long-term, and it strengthens families and the community they live, shop, and work in. And isn't that what every American worker deserves?
Next ET, Jake Gyllenhaal celebrates Roadhouse.
I don't know if I'll ever train as intensely as I did for this movie.
Plus, Whitney Carson's ballroom comeback.
Okay, I'm ready.
Next ET.
Watch 4 News Now at 6 and Entertainment Tonight at 7:30.
Right now, there's just so much happening in our world. So much at stake at the start of every morning.
Making sense of it all, that's not always so easy.
And that's where we come in.
Good Morning America. We want you to know every morning.
We're right here, and we got you.
Okay. Oh, we're going kind of fast now.
Oh. Every year, the Spokane Fire Department hosts gondola rescue training at the Numerica Sky Ride. And this year, they invited Bronte Saratsky along for the ride, as you just heard. Well, this training can be applied to other kinds of rescue situations as well. It's not just if you're stuck in one of the gondolas.
But if you ever are in this situation, it's important to know what to do to keep safe until help arrives. Bronte shows us exactly what to do.
While it's not every day that people are getting stuck here on the Sky Ride, the Spokane Fire Department still needs to know what to do if someone does. Well, earlier I got the chance to help them practice.
With my harness clipped in and my helmet secure, I was quickly raised up to the gondola to start my role as someone in need of saving.
Rescuers would access from above the cabin, and then they would
in a sense, rappel down into the cabin after opening the doors and meet you in there.
Starting this year, the fire department can now train with a new hang glider, gliding to the top of the gondola to perform the rescue.
And so we can actually be performing simultaneous rescues on multiple cars at once, as opposed to having, it just takes a lot less people with this new device.
Once I was inside, firefighters made sure I was completely locked in, always tied to something at any point.
You got to maintain 2 points of contact and stuff like that.
If this wasn't a training, I'd need to contact the parks department and remain calm until someone came to help. Once the next firefighter rappelled his way down to me, he walked me through exactly what I needed to do to get down to safety.
You can push off the platform.
And before I knew it, I was back on the ground.
Okay, just bend your knees and come on down there.
These skills aren't just important if someone gets stuck on the sky ride. They can be used for situations that we see more often.
So we can be really good at those skills and apply them in whatever we're given for that rescue.
Reporting in Spokane. Oh, we're going kind of fast now. Bronte Sorotsky, 4 News Now.
Way to go, Bronte. Well, our temperature today, 64 degrees. 50 is our average high. We did not tie or set a record today after 3 days of record highs. 70 is our record for today. Sunset coming up at 7:04. We are going to be far from record territory in the 7-day forecast. I'll tell you about the cool down after the break.
Live stream KXLY Plus on the 4 News Now app.
Slam dunk a deal on 170 new Kias at George Gia Kia.
When I was told I had a brain tumor, my life disappeared in a moment. I feared for my future, but even more, I feared for the ones I love. How would they move on without me? But when my doctor told me about the Gamma Knife of Spokane, everything changed. I can get my brain tumor treated in just 1 day and continue living the life I love. Because of Gamma Knife, I have hope.
Stay calm and nobody will be hurt.
The 911 premiere that left us breathless continues Thursday.
You hear that?
911 is on ABC Thursday.
Introducing the Chevy family of SUVs. Do more with tech. Do more with safety. Do more with style. The Chevy family of SUVs. There's one for everything you do. Get 1.9% financing on select popular Chevy SUVs when you finance with GM Financial.
See your hometown Chevy dealer today.
Second Harvest believes no child should go hungry. Every week, volunteers pack meals for over 10,000 children through the Bite to Go program.
There are more kids than you may think who need food support over the weekend. Bite to Go program is a network of businesses, faith organizations, and civic organizations that have banded together to help fight child hunger. We're here to provide nutritional support so kids can show up ready to learn on Monday mornings.
Numerica Credit Union is proud to donate $1,000 to Second Harvest Bite to Go program. This is how Numerica cares for kids.
Do you have property damage? Burke's Restoration provides full-service emergency response for residential and commercial disasters. Wind damage? Burke's can handle that. Is flooding your problem? Burke's Restoration knows just what to do. Fire or smoke damage? Call Burke's today. You didn't plan on a disaster, but you have a choice on who restores it. Choose the best. Burke's Restoration takes care of fire, smoke, wind, or water damage and more. Tell your insurance company you choose Burke's Restoration. Call or click today.
A live look now over downtown Spokane, where we can expect a major change in the weather coming up soon.
Yep, Chris, we're here. We have a pretty healthy amount of rain on the way for several days, right?
Yes, it's getting slowly started, but by the time we're into the weekend, it is really going to be coming down. Let's take a look at that sky where the clouds have moved in. I was kind of getting used to the blue skies and sunshine, but there's wheat to grow and snowpack to increase, so it is good. And getting the allergens out of the air knock some of that pollen out. That would be a good thing. Here's our temperature trend over the next 7 days, and we are going to be taking a dip, especially considering we were way up here on Sunday, and then we've been slowly dropping. 56 tomorrow. We'll stay in the 60-degree range Friday before another drop into the 40s for the weekend, and really not too far below our average high, which is in the lower 50s, and then just staying a hair below average through the rest of the 7-day forecast, and it looks like that trend will continue through the end of the month. Our chance of precipitation tomorrow in terms of measurable rain is not very good. A few sprinkles on the windshield, a very good bet, but our odds increase Friday and really jump on Saturday before it tapers off a little bit for Sunday and Monday. Forecast radar starting off late tonight. We see that very light precipitation, especially in North Idaho. Here's Thursday at 7 a.m. With just a hint of a sprinkle or two, a better chance of the wet weather as we get into the mountain areas and may see a few showers popping up in the afternoon. Then as we get into Friday, some light rain through Friday morning, again favoring those mountain areas with some showers coming in as we get into the evening. Snow levels will be dropping through the weekend. 5,000 feet, 4,000 feet Thursday and Friday, about where you would expect them to be this time of year. But then by Saturday, we're down around 3,500 feet. That takes it down below the lodge level at our ski areas. And then by Sunday morning and Monday morning, we'll see that chance of snow down into most lowlands, although precipitation totals will be fairly light in terms of snow. Here's a look at one computer model forecast outlook. In general, less than 2 inches of snow in the valleys around Spokane and Coeur d'Alene, maybe 1/10 of an inch. If that, will fine-tune that forecast as we get closer to the weekend. In the meantime, Thursday's high temperatures above average, but we are cooling. 56 in Spokane, only Sandpoint in the 40s, and there's still some 60s on the map, just no sign of the 70s. And it is going to be a breezy day. This is a look at sustained winds throughout the day, and then we'll have wind gusts in the 25 miles per hour range. Again, with the allergies, take your allergy medicine of choice, and then the rain, our hero, comes in starting Friday. A better chance of wet weather Saturday. May start to see some snow mixing in Sunday and Monday, with more wet weather ahead next week. Kirsten.
Thank you, Chris. And it feels weird to even say this because we're talking about snow, but we need to be alert for grass fires. That's the message from the National Weather Service and our First Alert Weather team until Friday.
Yeah, meteorologist Matt Gray is with us now to explain why. And Matt, you're saying this time of year, it's becoming one to watch.
And it's for a very specific reason. Now, there may be some pollen out there, but a lot of our plants, they haven't greened themselves up quite yet. And so that is leaving the door open. What is green up? So it's when plants, they awaken from their winter dormancy and, well, they start growing again and getting green again, right? So you've probably seen this process just getting started around town this week. But until this green up happens, plants are vulnerable and they're going to be primed for burning by the warm and dry weather conditions like we just saw over the past week. Now, in the past year, we have seen, unfortunately, some pretty extreme examples of how fire before the green up can be devastating given the wrong set of circumstances. Just last month, the Smokehouse Creek fire killed 2 people and became the largest fire in Texas state history, over 1 million acres. It was caused in part by excessive grass growth from the year before that was then dried and ready to burn from a heat wave the week before the fire started. And then there was Western Canada this past spring. Extreme heat arrived before the green up. It dried out dormant plants and left them ready to burn. Now, we ended up seeing smoke from some of those fires hovering over Spokane in the month of May. It was a very strange situation, which brings us back to the here and the now. March is warming the 3rd quickest of any month in Spokane, right before the green up usually happens as we go into April. Now, fire risk isn't going to be there every year, but some years it certainly will be again. Hot, dry, and windy weather no matter what time of the year it is always going to bring some risk of fire. And that deserves our attention and our respect.
All right, Matt, thank you. Well, President Biden wants to remove over 7 billion tons of global gas emissions.
How his administration plans to make that happen, plus the battle between the Supreme Court and a panel of federal judges over a new law in Texas. Why some say it unfairly targets immigrants.
Live stream KXLY Plus on the 4 News Now app.
Some injury lawyers you see on TV aren't even from here. They could be in Texas, California,
or even worse, Florida.
Local representation matters.
Good luck getting attention from 1,000 miles away.
Call the advocates.
We're here for you, not way over there for you.
All aboard, sisters. The sequel to the smash hit Menopause the Musical is about to set sail. Cruising through the change is the can't-miss ultimate girls' night out. Menopause the Musical has been seen by more than 17 million fans worldwide. This hilarious sequel features parodies of your favorite hits from the 70s, 80s, and 90s.
Coming to Spokane on March 23rd for one performance at First Interstate Center for the Arts. Tickets at BroadwaySpokane.com.
The idea of owning a home was a really big dream of mine. It felt kind of like a pipe dream. When I think of a mortgage advisor, I think of someone who is stuffy, not approachable or friendly. But then we went to BECU and I met Lauren. She was like, this is what we're gonna do. This is how you make it happen. This is how you buy a home. And it wasn't scary or overwhelming. Watching my daughter grow up in a home that we own is amazing. My mortgage advisor changed my life and my family's life.
At Just Between Friends, you'll find everything you need for your family. It's all here.
I've been shopping in JBF since my kids were little, and we just love it.
Is the one-stop shop for everything that you need for your kids and your grandkids.
I'm a first-time mom. I got a lot of clothing, shoes, I got a changing table. It's been a lot of fun.
Such a blessing to be able to shop, sell, and save at JBF. This has been a game changer for our family.
Just Between Friends at the Spokane Fair and Expo Center.
Want free college or career training? It's possible.
Independent Power Generation wants to help light up the lives of our deserving veterans with the Power for Patriots contest. One veteran will win a state-of-the-art solar panel system courtesy of IPG. Help power a brighter future for a hero by nominating a veteran today at KXLY.com.
You know what I've learned from playing soccer? Play as a team, outwit your opponent, and never give up.
You know what I've learned from being a lawyer? Play as a team, outwit your opponent, never give up.
No wonder we work so well together.
Yeah.
4 News Now is brought to you by the 63rd Annual Gem, Mineral, and Jewelry Show at the Fairgrounds.
All right, welcome back. Around the nation, a controversial immigration law in Texas is bouncing back and forth between the highest court in the land and a panel of federal appeals judges.
Caught in between is the state's immigrant community. There are fears that if the law moves forward, many immigrants could be unfairly targeted. CNN's Laura Aguirre explains.
Texas is in a legal tug of war. Governor Greg Abbott wants to start enforcing SB 4, the state's new immigration law that he signed last year. It empowers state and local law enforcement to detain people they suspect of entering the U.S. illegally. But it's facing a myriad of legal challenges from the Biden administration and other groups. And while those court battles play out, the U.S. Supreme Court issued a temporary order Tuesday allowing Texas to enforce SB 4. But hours later, a federal appeals court slammed the brakes on that, and the governor pushed back Wednesday.
Texas has a right to defend ourselves, and we will use that authority to declare an invasion and fight back against that invasion.
No SB 4! SB 4 has sparked protests, and critics say it greenlights racial profiling. After Tuesday's legal maneuvering, some cities moved quickly to allay those fears.
We don't want our deputies making arrests unless somebody has actually committed a crime.
It can be just by seeing somebody and the officer thinking that he's not from here and then asking for documents. It doesn't work like that.
But exactly how it will work is now back in the hands of the 5th U.S. Circuit Court of Appeals, for now, with the governor, the state, and the eyes of the nation watching.
what Texas is doing on immigration would be akin to them declaring their own wars, would create massive confusion across not just Texas, but other states.
I'm Laura Aguirre reporting.
Well, a new study from WSU says dementia patients in rural parts of the state struggle to find care.
How far the average person needs to drive to find a neurologist, still ahead. Plus.
And how one local Coeur d'Alene business who lost everything during January's freeze has now finally found their silver lining. Coming up.
Still ahead, the arena behind me will be flooded with visitors in the next few days. How the Spokane police plan to make your experience a slam dunk after the break.
Live stream KXLY Plus on the 4 News Now app.
Introducing the Chevy family of SUVs. Do more with tech. Do more with safety. Do more with style. The Chevy family of SUVs. There's one for everything you do. Get 1.9% financing on select popular Chevy SUVs when you finance with GM Financial.
See your hometown Chevy dealer today.
From Lincoln Center Theater that brought you The King and I and South Pacific comes a sumptuous new revival of the most perfect musical of all time, My Fair Lady. The New York Times calls it thrilling, glorious, and better than it ever was. Bartlett Shear's glowing production is enthralling. Don't miss the smashing, jubilant Lincoln Center Theater production of My Fair Lady.
April 2nd through 7th at First Interstate Center for the Arts. Tickets on sale now at BroadwaySpokane.com.
Choosing countertops is one of the biggest decisions that you make during a kitchen remodel, and my husband and I thought that we would have to go to Seattle to find what we wanted. A friend recommended that we try Granite Concepts in Lewiston, and the people at Granite Concepts were amazing. They were friendly and straightforward and helped us find exactly the countertops that we wanted.
Granite Concepts, beauty set in stone.
BTO is back. Bachman Turner Overdrive, featuring Randy Bachman, performing the greatest hits from BTO and the original The Guess Who. July 24th at BECU Live at Northern Quest. BTO Live. Tickets on sale Friday at 10 a.m. at northernquest.com. Don't miss the return of BTO in concert, produced by Live Nation.
Can you crush this? Next, Inside Edition, demolition videos, watches, bottles, golf balls, phones, the popular new way to relax. Then, the pilot who flew 112 of his family and friends to Hawaii, all to celebrate his retirement. Wait till you see how much it cost.
Enjoy the flight. It's going to be an emotional day for me.
Watch the next Inside Edition.
Watch 4 News Now at 6 and Inside Edition at 7. Live from downtown Spokane, this is 4 News Now at 6:30.
Well, here is another live look at Spokane Veterans Memorial Arena. Actually, it's just off to the right of your screen here. By the end of the week, though, thousands of fans will have come and gone through its doors to enjoy the NCAA tournament. In the next few days, large crowds will begin to form downtown, welcoming the madness that is March.
And with those crowds, there's a need for more security to keep you and your family safe. Hunter Bertram joins us live from outside the arena tonight with safety tips and what SPD is doing to protect everyone in Spokane. Hunter.
Yeah, Spokane police are gearing up to handle the thousands of visitors Hooptown USA are expecting to see in the next few days, with the goal of enjoyment, safety, but most importantly, a peace of mind for the public looking to celebrate the festivities.
March Madness comes every year, but not always to Spokane. A city known for its hoops and champion teams, drawing tens of thousands in for many sporting events like Hoop Fest. These events are great for the local economy and tourism, but can wreak havoc on the safety of our streets.
Any place where you see an influx or an increase in the population, you're going to see a greater uniform presence, and then you can bet that that's a place where we're also going to have more of those resources that you may not see.
The Spokane Police Department plans for large events years ahead. Lieutenant Terry Pruninger told me it's a formula designed to know how, when, and where anything bad happens in the city.
And while we can't predict every problem, what we want to have is as much information as soon as possible. So
by having eyes and ears on the ground across the city at all times, SPD's goal is to be able to respond to an emergency in a matter of minutes. Utilizing extra resources during these times, such as increasing patrols, undercover cops, electronic surveillance, and even hidden strategical teams that can jump in defensive mode at any second. But with the extra focus on the events, SPD wants the public to know this.
As we try not to take away from the resources that are out patrolling the neighborhoods, patrolling in the other parts of the city, and that level of service is still going to be provided as it always would.
Lieutenant Pruninger also recommended if you see something suspicious or strange, report it. Find an officer or give them a call. In addition to taking your part in protecting the public, speak with your kids and family, going over what to do if something were to happen or if someone were to get separated in a moment of chaos.
SPD also said that if you are struggling to get around in the area, flag down an officer and they can help you get where you need to go. Reporting live in Spokane, Hunter Bertram, 4 News Now.
Thank you, Hunter. Well, a sign that we will have many tourists in the area, I think, will be a lot of umbrellas because I don't see many people in Spokane.
They're going to think they're in Seattle.
That's right.
Yes, absolutely. We'll live up to the reputation that Washington is a wet state, even though we know it's not on this side. We do have some changes coming in the forecast. The harbingers of that change have already arrived with overcast conditions in downtown Spokane. Here are 4 things to know about your forecast. Just a few sprinkles on Thursday. We have a better chance of some light rain on Friday. As we get closer to Friday, that rain looks lighter and lighter. But right now, it looks like a wet and cooler weekend with the possibility of some valley snow, particularly in the northern valleys. It shouldn't amount to much, but it's awfully late in the year to see it regardless. Here's a look at our satellite and radar, and those clouds have been streaming in, but it's going to take a while before we see anything coming out of those clouds. May see a little bit of light precipitation in the mountains overnight, a sprinkle or two around Spokane and Coeur d'Alene. Temperatures, meanwhile, will be cooler for Thursday than they were today or the past few days, but we're still above average. 50 is our average high. We're heading up to a high of 56 with partly to mostly cloudy skies and a little bit breezy. Wind gusts up to 25 miles per hour. I will be back with your 7-day forecast plus Wildlife Wednesday. The birds are flocking back. I'll explain.
Thank you, Chris. Well, it may feel like spring now, but some businesses are still feeling the wrath of January's cold snap.
A local Coeur d'Alene wellness center that suffered a complete loss in those frigid temperatures is just now starting to see the light at the end of the tunnel. This is what Heat Praxia's staff walked into after the pipes above them burst. Their entire sauna studio left in ruins. Marissa Rio gives us an update on Heat Praxia's road to recovery.
Driving through downtown Coeur d'Alene looks a bit different now. The street is down one local business. The water damage Heat Praxia suffered during January's freeze was so extensive, they needed to relocate if they wanted to continue their dream.
We've had a struggle with having our insurance claim has still not processed, so that's probably been the largest struggle amongst all of them in the last 2 months because it's kind of frozen our path forward.
But after 2 months, Heat Praxia has found its silver lining, recently signing a lease to a new location that's 4.5 times bigger than its last. As Heather gives us a tour of the inside, she shares the company's whirlwind of emotions.
Stress and, maybe slightly scary, and it's a huge leap, but I would say more than anything else, just excitement for the future.
And the excitement to serve the community again is evident, with holes in the wall where staff literally kicked off the start of their rebuild. There will be 9 saunas here, 1 large cold plunge, and a classroom to do breath work in.
Right now, I'm standing outside of Heat Praxia's communal sauna, and let me tell you, the views here are beautiful. You have the lake right over here, and then Tubbs Hill is right behind me. Heat Praxia says they hope to now utilize this outdoor space.
Now being lakefront and having Tubbs Hill so close, Heather says they hope to give discounts to those who are out hiking.
We want to incentivize getting out there, being active, being in nature.
Heat Praxia hopes to have its grand reopening at the beginning of September.
Back to school, all the parents get their kids off and come to Heat Praxia and decompress from how much work all of that is.
For more information on ways you can support Heat Praxia, visit our website at KXLY.com. Reporting in Coeur d'Alene, Marissa Rio, 4 News Now.
Well, experts say early detection is key when treating dementia, but a recent study found minorities and people living in rural areas have very little access to care.
Researchers at Washington State University say one of the main issues is how far these groups need to travel to see a neurologist. According to the study of more than 95,000 Washingtonians, people living in urban areas lived an average of 9 miles from a neurologist. That number increases, though, to 45 miles for the suburbs. Travel distance skyrockets in rural areas, with patients having to travel an average of 100 miles. Now, researchers say these hurdles lead to higher costs of care and reduced chances of preserving cognitive function. The lead researcher saying to these people, even 17 miles is a large distance that presents a significant burden. So you can imagine how hard it would be to have to travel 100 miles to see a neurologist. Researchers say some possible solutions include offering care via telemedicine or through mobile healthcare units, for more training for rural primary care physicians to diagnose and care for dementia.
Well, a Senate hearing was held this morning to talk about the dangers of toxic forever chemicals known as PFAS. 2 spots in Spokane have been identified by the EPA as PFAS contamination sites: Spokane International Airport and Fairchild Air Force Base. A panel of experts discussed how federal, state, and local agencies could come together on the process of cleaning forever chemicals out of our water supply.
We are here today because the manufacturers of these chemicals hid their harms from their regulators, from their customers, from their neighbors, their workers, and from you, from Congress.
Forever chemicals are found in everyday products like waterproof jackets, food packaging, and nonstick pans. Drinking water with high PFAS levels has been linked to greater risk of kidney and testicular cancers. Congress is now working on a bipartisan plan to clean up that contamination.
Well, a man is facing burglary and kidnapping charges tonight for attacking a woman on the South Hill. The Spokane County Sheriff's Office says this all started at a home near East 57th and South Palouse Highway. Deputies say this morning 42-year-old Nicholas Taylor entered that home armed with a hammer and tried to drag the victim out with him. She did manage to break free, and that's when investigators say another person who was also inside that home shot Taylor in the leg. Investigators later learned that the victim had a domestic violence protection order against Taylor. An asteroid the size of the Empire State Building is making its way a little too close to Earth.
When it could hit and the possible solutions NASA has to deal with it coming up.
Plus, the Biden administration is placing new restrictions on vehicle emissions. What this could mean for the future of the auto industry. Stay with us.
Live stream KXLY Plus on the 4 News Now app.
4 News Now is brought to you by Inland Imaging.
It's time to hoop it up at Missisquoi Casino Hotel. Score your share of over $22,000 in cash. Play your favorite games now to earn entries to shoot hoops for cash. Missisquoi Casino Hotel.
BECU, as I like to call it, the best ever credit union, is wonderful. We have a lot of ways to help you financially. We have members that come in all the time, and it's really such a spectrum of things. From an 18-year-old kid that, hey, I just wanted to let you know we started this journey together. I'm buying my first car. To our no-fee 12-year mortgage or our no-fee home equity product. We are a great financial institution that really wants the best for you and your family and your future. No matter where you're at in your journey, we're here to help you build on that.
How does free college or training sound? It's possible. Washington College Grant gives eligible people money for certificate programs, job training, apprenticeships, or college. Learn more at waggrant.org. That's WAGrant.org.
Good morning. Thank you for calling Mainstream Electric Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing. How may I help you today?
I'm having some problem with my air conditioner.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. What sort of problem?
Well, It's making a clingity, clangity, clunk. Sound.
Oh, no worries. We can certainly take care of that for you. Here at Mainstream Electric Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing, we speak your language.
News. For years, Washington Realtors embraced some of the most consumer-friendly practices in the nation, putting fairness and transparency at the heart of the home buying process, providing clients with the duties of their real estate broker in the transaction, along with a written agreement explaining the cost of brokerage services, and receiving and signing this agreement up front. Now, these principles are not just industry standard, they're state law. Transparency in real estate, brought to you by Washington Realtors. Is your broker a realtor?
You did the craziest thing last night. He went.
Next Live, Broadway's Jeremy Jordan, plus Top Chef's Gail Simmons.
Watch live tomorrow at 9, right after GMA.
It's time to hoop it up at Mr. Quad Casino Hotel. Score your share of over $22,000 in cash. Play your favorite games now to earn entries to shoot hoops for cash. Mr. Quad Casino Hotel.
Welcome back. Scientists say an asteroid the size of the Empire State Building is heading toward Earth. Well, the good news here is the chances of it actually hitting are about 0.05%, but I don't like any chance. And also, it's not or shouldn't arrive until 2182.
It's important to understand this hazard in general and what we might be able to do when an asteroid ultimately is going to collide with the Earth, because it's happened many times before throughout geologic history.
Oh, well, it might be more than 100 years away. Scientists have been working on a possible solution. You may remember in October of 2022 when NASA successfully used its mission called DART to alter the trajectory of an asteroid with a spacecraft. I do remember that because we talked at length about what could happen. We didn't want to think about that. The other solution, though, floating around is pinpointing where it might hit and evacuating that area, which requires a level of accuracy we just don't have.
Or we do what we did in the 90s, and you send up people like Bruce Willis and Ben Affleck and Michael Clark Duncan, and you drill down in there and blow that sucker up.
That's a very practical idea. My money's on science. They'll figure it out.
There's some time.
They got 100+ years to do that. So let's talk about some things happening around the region that are a little more predictable, like the return of all of our favorite birds. Spring is coming, and I've got a lot of birds in Wildlife Wednesday this week. Some overwinter, some show up in the spring, like this horned lark. Mark Vogt tells me, otherwise known as the Batman bird, because of the Batman-like face features there with that black, really cool picture. Thank you for that, Mark. This is one of my favorite birds because I learned about this in Idaho history in 4th grade. It is the male mountain bluebird. Mountain bluebird is, of course, the state bird of the fabulous Gem State. Kathy Bolam shared this. It is so beautiful. Such a great bird. Thank you so much, Kathy. Marty Stowe shared this photo of a barred owl. So gorgeous. What a beautiful picture. And looking right at Marty. Look at this photo from Paula Zanter Stout. Now, she shared this so you could really get a sense of how big an eagle's nest is from this perspective, showing the eagle swooping in. And she captured this image near Moses Lake last week. And just a phenomenal photo. Thank you so much, Paula. Kazu Crumpelman shared this photo of a male flicker. Very cool birds. I always get excited when they show up at my bird feeder, which is not very often, but I don't have suet out like Kazu does. That's what I need to do. That attracts the flickers, big birds. And finally, from Courtney Litwin, Sandhill Cranes. They are making their annual visit right now, and the Sandhill Crane Festival is this weekend. They are enjoying the good eating going on in the Columbia Basin. And they are really spectacular birds. They're only here for a short period of time. And I'll have all these photos posted on my Facebook page later today. There is some wet weather on the way. Tomorrow, just a few sprinkles. Friday is looking drier all the time, some light precipitation. Saturday, still a very good chance of rain, and that will continue Sunday and Monday with a chance of showers, and maybe not just rain. We do have the potential for some snow down in the valleys. It should be fairly light, if any, a tenth of an inch, and you might have to get up early Sunday morning or early Monday morning to see it accumulating. We're getting pretty late in the season, so likely will be melting, but we're going to get some good snow going in the mountains, which we need. We're still building snowpack peaks in late March, early April, and it looks like cooler and wetter conditions will continue right on through the end of March and into early April. Our temperatures back down in the 40s by Saturday, with finally some overnight lows back down around freezing again Sunday into Monday, and then Monday into Tuesday. Derek?
All right, Chris, thank you. Well, the wait for Girl Scout cookies is almost over. Girl Scout cookie season officially kicks off this Friday. Troops have been perfecting their entrepreneurial skills and are ready to sell. Tune in tomorrow morning on Good Morning Northwest to hear from the Girl Scouts themselves. 4 News Now's Allison Martinez will be live at their headquarters talking about how you can expect your same favorite cookies for the same low prices.
My tummy's rumbling just a little bit. Here's a look at ABC's primetime lineup tonight.
Live stream KXLY Plus on the 4 News Now app. AutoNation gets it.
Your life is constantly on the move, going from one place to another. And after that, guess what? Yeah, you keep going. That's why we do our part to keep you on the go. Now at AutoNation Toyota, drive a new 2024 RAV4 for just $444 a month, or lease a new Toyota Camry for only $297 a month. Go to AutoNation Toyota today. What drives you drives us.
Hey, can I get some butter for my popcorn?
Sure, it'll be $1 extra.
$1 extra for butter?
Yep.
Ridiculous, right? You know what else doesn't make sense? Some people are still paying for their checking accounts. Some places it's $12 a month. At P1FCU, we believe some things should just be free. Open your Ascent checking with tons of great benefits at p1fcu.org/free.
Spokane's hottest music.
Man, I feel just like a rock star.
Hot 96.9.
It's that time of year to book your roofing project now, before the spring rush hits at McVeigh Brothers Roofing, Siding, and Windows. And when you purchase a new CertainTeed roof today, you'll get a 5-star lifetime material and labor warranty upgrade for free.
It's Coeur d'Alene Casino's Core Stars Entertainment Series. 38 specials, timeless blast of Southern rock hits. Live Thursday, April 18th.
Damn straight.
Don't miss Scotty McCreery, one of country music's biggest stars, live Thursday, May 2nd. It's No Holds Barred Entertainment at King of the Cage, featuring upcoming MMA stars on Thursday, June 13th. Visit CDAcasino.com to buy your tickets now and check out the full Core Stars lineup.
Winning is just the beginning.
Take advantage of the tax credits you can, including the annual Washington State Working Families Tax Credit. You can get money back on state taxes already paid. Visit workingfamiliescredit.wa.gov.
I'm Mark Peterson, the Extreme Team and Horizon Credit Union, ready to take on our next job. If you know of a project that needs an Extreme Team makeover, go to KXLY.com to nominate it. Our thanks to Horizon Credit Union for sponsoring the 4 News Now Extreme Team.
Sports on 4 News Now is brought to you by Coeur d'Alene Casino.
Welcome back. It's being called the most ambitious plan to eliminate planet-warming emissions from cars.
The White House today announcing a series of rules that they say will avoid over 7 billion tons of emissions over the next 30 years. ABC's Zareen Shah breaks down the president's new plan.
A major move just announced from the Environmental Protection Agency requiring the car industry to reduce pollution across their entire fleet in an attempt to push the car industry to make more electric vehicles.
Today marks a historic win for public health, for the environment, and for the future of our country. 1 mile at a time, we're cleaning our air, we're protecting public health, and we're creating good-paying American jobs.
The EPA announcing that vehicle emissions standards for cars built starting 2027 up until 2032 will reduce U.S. emissions by over 7 billion metric tons for over 30 years. It's all in an effort, they say, to reduce deaths, healthcare costs, and over $60 billion in costs for fuel, maintenance, and repairs by reducing tiny particulates and other pollution from burning gasoline, in addition to reducing plant warming emissions.
That means less heart disease. That means longer lives. Clean cars is really all about saving kids. Clean cars will help save our kids.
The Biden administration tapping the brakes a little to give manufacturers more wiggle room.
We gave the automobile industry more flexibility to achieve those environmental goals.
Sales of electric vehicles have slowed, so automakers didn't think they needed to reach stricter standards set a year ago.
Giving the automobile industry more flexibility to choose different combinations to achieve our environmental goals actually gives their customers more choice.
The White House says that car manufacturers will have many options to get to the emission limits it is requiring, and that includes a combination of battery electric vehicles, plug-in hybrids, and super-efficient gas-powered engines. Zoreen Shah, ABC News, Los Angeles.
Well, here's another live look of the Spokane Veteran Memorial Arena, the host of the first 2 rounds of the NCAA tournament starting tomorrow. We are hours away now. We will be back with one last look at your 7-day forecast.
Live stream KXLY Plus on the 4 News Now app.
So here it is, Northern Quest's best car ever.
Shotgun.
Anton already called it.
You can play a game of pig for it.
It's your funeral. Fine, but we're playing hippopotamus.
Play daily to win a brand new Mercedes-Benz, only at Northern Quest.
Hi, I'm Robert Sacre. You may know me from my basketball career. But what you don't know is I'm a father of 4, and life can get pretty chaotic. So that's why I'm getting a vasectomy at North Idaho Urology, so I can finally sit back and enjoy the madness.
Vasectomy season is back. Scheduled today at North Idaho Urology.
It's Click It RV's huge open house show and sale going on now with top manufacturers like Forest River, Winnebago, Thor, Jayco, StarCraft, and more. With super low interest rates, 0 down, and no payments till July. Enter to win $30,000 in cash or a new 2023 StarCraft trailer. There's huge savings on motorhomes, travel trailers, fifth wheels, toy haulers, and more. So beat the spring rush and don't miss this huge open house sale at Click It RV. 1 mile past the Y on the Newport Highway.
BECU isn't like other financial institutions, and the difference is people. Because we're not for profit, there's no boardroom of billionaires maximizing their margins. Our biggest stakeholders are people like you. It's our members who make money meaningful, so we focus on helping them thrive. It's the art student bringing beauty to his community that makes a college loan matter. It's the mother building her family's foundation that makes a mortgage matter. It's people that make BECU matter. People like you.
It's that time of year to book your roofing project now, before the spring rush hits at McVeigh Brothers Roofing, Siding, and Windows. And when you purchase a new CertainTeed roof today, you'll get a 5-star lifetime material and labor warranty upgrade for free.
The 4 News Now team is back together. I'm Derek Dice. My co-anchor, Kirsten O'Connor, has been at home with her new baby boy, Noah. Now she's ready to get back to work telling the stories that matter to you. Join us both weekdays on 4 News Now at 5 and 6.
4 News Now is brought to you by Menopause the Musical, to BroadwaySpokane.com.
All right, tomorrow, temperatures, actually the next couple of days, temperatures will remain above average, breezy tomorrow. Just a few sprinkles, few showers Friday, wetter weather, cooler weather ahead for the weekend.
Okay.
So.
It's like a trial run tomorrow then for what's to come.
Easing into things.
I think it's going to be all right.
Oh, it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll see you tonight at 11.